Hey guys, Brian here with Stogie Review. I'm back with another video cigar review. This time I'm taking a look at the Manolo Estate Habano Serie 32. So what's the story with the Manolo Estate Habano Serie 32? Well, the cigars were sent to me quite a while back. I owe somebody a review on them, so I'm making good on that. I figure it's a new year. It's good to make good on old obligations. So here's a little bit about it from the Manolo Estate website. The Serie 32 Habano uses a rich, properly aged blend of mostly Cuban Criollo 98 seed varietals that imbue this cigar with its full-bodied taste that is reminiscent of vintage old-school Cuban cigars, starting with its exquisite Ecuadorian Habano broadleaf wrapper. The masterful blend of Cuban seed Dominican-grown Corojo, Ligero, and Seco, coupled with a strong base of Nicaraguan Esteli and an aftertaste of sweet spices and a nutty essence, leaving behind an unmistakable aroma that soothes the senses of the most discerning cigar connoisseur. So I hope that I will be soothed here in a moment when I light up. So I've got it lit now, and that description that I read earlier is pretty accurate in terms of the nuttiness. It's a very nutty start to this cigar. I was looking the wrapper over. It's a little rustic in appearance, kind of a deep reddish brown, a little bit of black marking, smudging, some medium to medium fine. There is one big vein on the back of this one. But yeah, not a lot to report initially. The draw is a little on the firm side, but still within the acceptable range. Yeah, kind of chocolatey, kind of really nutty. So far, I mean, I'm just started puffing on it. Oh, and one thing I did forget earlier is I think the MSRP is in the neighborhood of about $6.50. So if you're looking for these, I did check; they are available on the internet, a few locations. So if you don't see them in your store, they're available there. So I've been meaning to review this cigar for months. I've smoked one or two of them, take some notes, and then something would happen and I would forget. And weeks would go by, and then I'd remember, I'd smoke a few more, and again something would happen, again I'd forget. I think I repeated this like 3 or 4 times. I don't even know, but this time finally is the last loop around that track. If you caught my latest Week in Smoke, the one that nearly became a post on beer and cigar pairings, you might be wondering what I'm drinking with this cigar tonight. The answer is water. Just plain water. This isn't even Evian or however you say it. It's just filtered water I poured into it. So just water tonight, folks. So I've had a chance to burn into this just a little bit. I don't know, an inch or so. And now it's time for an update. It's burning pretty well, as you can see, fairly evenly. The draw is still a little tiny touch firm, but it's really not bad. In terms of flavor, it's still very nutty. There is a little bit of an interesting kind of, I don't even want to call it heat, but a definite presence towards the back of my mouth that I'm getting from this. Not so much. I don't get spices. I think the description mentioned sweet spices. I don't really get that at this point, but I do get kind of an earthy to kind of chocolatey type of thing going on with it. So mostly nuts, earthy, kind of chocolatey, and that's really kind of where we're at right now. And we'll check in later. All right, so we're halfway-ish into this. And I thought I'd come in while the burn's a little funky. It's got the little peninsula thing happening here. I've had that happen with a few of them. I don't think it's an every time type of thing, but a few of them it might be they're just laid on its side a little too long. So in terms of flavor, it's definitely going from that kind of really nutty thing that I was getting at the beginning, like the description said, where I wasn't getting the sweet spices, but now I kind of am. It definitely is going into some spice. There was some, kind of creamy sweet coffee, and I'm starting to get more of kind of a dryish type of wood, more so than the nuts I got earlier. So it's transitioning from, or has basically transitioned from mostly nutty to kind of a dryish wood, a little bit of sweet cinnamon, kind of some creamy coffee, and maybe a little bit of earth at this point, not nearly as much, but there's definitely, actually the spices have even kicked up from the sweet cinnamon that I wrote down earlier. So the burn, yeah, I'll probably touch this up in a minute, but the flavor has been really good at this point. So, I have no idea what to do about this beard. No idea. There's really no end game with a beard like this. Do you trim it back to a more respectable length? You let it go longer? Do you go back to a goatee? Is any of that even possible? I don't know. I feel like it's taken over. So I'm nearing the end, and no real burn issues anymore. It's looking pretty good. Smoke is good, smoke volume. The draw is not too tight at this point. A little firm, but less so than it was before. So this has gone interesting directions. So the nuttiness had faded in favor of like an oaky wood. Now the nuts are kind of back, and it's kind of oaky. But I'm also seeing more earthiness and maybe even a little espresso here at the end. There's a little bit of mineraliness to it. I've noticed that in previous ones. This seems less minerally than previous smokes I've had of it. So I kind of like that. I like that movement away from that. I think that's a definite improvement over the ones I had when they first arrived. I think that about covers it. I think I'll come back in with a conclusion here in a few minutes, and we'll call it good. So what's the verdict with the Manolo Estate Serie 32 Habano? I've had a bunch of these over the months, and I've seen some definite improvement in the flavor. I like where they're at now, a lot more than when they first hit my humidor. And I think it's a good cigar for the price. I mean, at $6.48, I mean, how can you go wrong? It's impressive for that. Thanks for watching.